why Canada. I talked about. I talked about that. A country has the second largest landmass, and it's still sort of developing. In that it's developed, but there's still so much growth because it's so big and so vast.
Please, what's this PRO? Public relation?
No, public residency.
So yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome again to another exciting episode of Japa Chronicles. I'm your humble.
Your voice is low already. We know what happens.
I'm your humble co-host for today. I'm the co-host. In short, for a while till something that was promised me by Mr. Dipo is provided. When he provides it, then I go back to being the host.
I love politics and leadership. You know how to make a man humble. Because on the last episode, you were adamant. I'm the host. I didn't even say anything.
But for now, temporary. Once my stuff comes, I'm good. I'm back to being the host.
In typical Nigerian, maybe I'll delete for you. Guys, welcome to another episode.
Is there?
If you're wondering why Isaac's voice is also low, his club lost this weekend.
I have a trophy this season. Like I can't even keep doing this. I have a trophy this season.
You lost to West Ham and you're going to Europa League.
You lost 6 games straight.
I won this weekend. There's nothing you can tell me.
3 points. What are your 3 points for you?
I'm not relegating.
What are your 3 points for you?
I'm not relegating. 42 points. I'm safe.
And you're proud.
Baba.
Top 4 club, you did proud saying you didn't relegate. It shouldn't even be the conversation. Your mates are struggling for top 4.
You are struggling for top 6. You like this. I'm 5 and 6 is a destiny.
I'm 4th.
You may text me on Sunday. I'm supporting Arsenal.
Yeah, Newcastle lose. And they lost. Didn't they lose? So I'm still safe.
But me, I'm having a bad morning. I've been awake for so long. No lights. Golden State Warriors lost.
Oh, you don't have lights? Where do you stay?
Isaac, let's go straight into the podcast.
Where do you have lights?
It's going to be. They thought somebody was saying that last episode I was too hard on you. The guest today. Oh Lord. I would drag people to do like Tiger J.
Let's introduce our guest.
I've not introduced her. You've not introduced me.
They know you're ready now. You're the host.
Okay. Hi guys, my name is Oladipo, aka King of Japa.
Yes, sir.
We didn't record last week, though.
Yes, somebody was away.
I was in Abuja.
Somebody was away
I was in Abuja.
on
I
business.
can't wait to go back.
On business and chills. He left us. He forgot. I told him to carry me, but you know how this thing. You know how politics is now.
In hindsight, I should have carried you because those are Abuja babes. in hindsight,
you don't carry me now. You know me. I'm single, so like.
So not even to just be partner in crime, make sure that we're going together, carrying our Bible and whatnot.
No, you do your business. Me, I'll do what I was.
You venture. Yeah, we're at Venture Spark. Happy to announce that Ilewe now has opened their Abuja office at Venture Spark. So if you are looking for us in Abuja, we are there.
We're there.
We are
there.
We had someone come out from Nasarawa last week.
Are you serious?
Wow. It's exciting. It's exciting times right now. So I'm a bit tired. I love the travel, but it's tiring. But I'm looking forward to Ibadan and Port Harcourt soon.
But there's no flights for Ibadan now.
No, I don't know. I'll go to.
You use your bicycle.
Yeah, my guys went to Ibadan recently. I wanted to go through train, but then I was with one of our guys. You know that our regular spot where we eat.
Yeah.
The brand manager was telling me how he went with train the other day and fuel finished for the go.
Are you serious?
And they were there for 2 days. I mean, we're not 2 hours rather. He was like, he deleted all his apps on his phone, broke all his SIM cards. He's like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and that's true.
So I'm like, I'll get it.
Have you gone by train before?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, when you go by
so
train.
The first time my friends went, and I heard how long it took to go via train, it didn't make any sense. And then where the station is, it doesn't make any sense. If I go via bus, I'll be there in 1 hour.
Yeah, actually, I think it's faster.
I haven't schooled there and been so used to the bus.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jerry.
I mean, the only time I've been on the train, it was really interesting. No, I've been on the train twice.
I want to do it though. I think so.
No, it's actually interesting. You would love it.
But I think where we do management meeting.
We should go by train.
Are you part of management?
No, I'm just saying.
Okay, when I go to Ibadan.
Yeah,
okay, cool. Yeah,
and I want to go.
All right, so before we go ahead, do we introduce our normal band?
No, let's introduce. I want to introduce my team lead, my guy.
If Man U won this weekend, your introduction would have been much longer than this. Though.
Well, it happens. That means for the last 6 weeks, you won't have had any introduction.
Wow.
But yeah, we have our guy at the top at the office. We had to beg her to come. You know, she's a very busy person and all that. She even said we should do 20 minutes episode, but let's see how that goes. But yeah, Miss, please introduce yourself.
My name is Oluwatoyin Onowale. I work with Leeway Education. So I'm happy to be here.
Is that all? No.
First time Jitas. You guys must speak properly. I'm happy to be here.
Give us who are you? I'm a this, I'm a that. I just say I work with today.
She has told you what she wants to tell you. Better go straight to the point.
That's exactly what I can say.
Oh, okay. So
we can't. I mean, you can see. You can you notice anything distinct about today? Look at
she's looking
The outfit.
as elegant as ever.
Thank you.
She can appraise you and do all those things. That make you still approve am. So all this your niceness that you are doing. All this your niceness.
You know before
that you are doing.
when I said before I sent her that appraiser, I already threatened her that what I was saying.
I love it.
But when I was writing that, I couldn't just put anything harsh. Mr. is my guy now, so
Yeah.
yeah,
My
this is
G.
guy. This is my guy.
Yeah, so we have one of our managers at Leeway Education. She's here to talk about what I believe Isaac and Victoria. So we have Victoria here because Isaac today no long, but we always regularly forget Victoria.
Always.
You know, we dey regularly forget Victoria. I don't know whether it's because she's gentle, and I know Victoria is not gentle like that.
She's still
She's still immersing herself.
she's still immersing herself.
Yeah.
I'm gentle.
So
I'm gentle.
yeah, today's going to be fun. This one, no guest today.
No, I'm just saying our guest now. She's even for me she's a special guest. Why are you looking like that?
I don't know if she's the one that's going to get this thing out for you quick. If I don't want to use the word that is really in my mind. Yeah. So what are we talking about today, Isaac?
Yeah,
Although before we go into there are some small things to
Yeah.
address.
Special things. Firstly, me, I want to give shout out to my boy, Victor Osimhen. Wherever you are, I really love you. He's one of the people doing us proud outside the country.
Isaac,
Hmm?
Twitter is so toxic.
What happened again?
I understand that the picture didn't really sit well with Africans. I understand that putting what?
Are you also defend all those people?
Isaac,
No, I'm not hearing any. I'm not the yet side of the story. I know my side of the story.
Isaac,
No, Mr. There's no other side.
Let me-
Just okay.
let me tell you 2-3 things that I noticed.
Mm.
Let me tell you 2 things. It's funny, right? So Spalletti is one, the coach of Napoli. Good hire. Letting go of Koulibaly, sending him to my club, and getting that Korean guy was good. But unlocking this Cagliavili guy, Osimhen has been there for like 2 years, right? And a couple of them.
Okay, so why didn't they put the coach's picture? The coach is new.
Let me tell you what I honestly feel every time I watch Napoli. Osimhen completes the jigsaw, but that's 77. That boy is bad. That boy
Osimhen is Osimhen is
Now-
that team.
Now let me also explain. Yes, he's European, and
She's so confused.
she's
I'm
lost,
just
right?
lost.
I feel like we should give
every
context. Let's just give context briefly.
No, I'll flow.
No, you
I'll
can
go with the
you
flow.
can okay for the
She doesn't watch football. She can't flow, so she just says she will flow.
let me just give her. So a Nigerian is in a football team and the team won their league.
Their first
For
league
their
in
first
33 years.
Almost 3 years, and like he was the highest goal scorer. He was clearly their best player.
Wow.
But the
Debatable.
Serie A, that's
So
the
like the
league.
league,
The
they
league
put the
management.
face of the white
They
guy.
put the face of a white guy.
Now the
outside
guy is
league.
he's not Italian. He's a bit white. He's chocolate. I mean, he's like milk brown if you ask me. But he's Georgian, right?
Mm.
I'm saying my argument to Isaac is the way I'm brought up. Those things don't matter to me because Osimhen will still feast. They will sell Osimhen for 100 to 150 million. Osimhen will be fine. I understand it, but the reality is that, and you know that this is what makes me very, very unique and different, is that I would rather not be toxic and be fighting Osimhen is still the talk of the town, regardless of what that picture said.
But that picture is trying to
I get to
shit
put, because I mean it was something to put the crown on his head, but
that was so unnecessary. If they said, oh, if they just put his picture and like gave like a shout out, but like with the Maradona.
have they said it? Have they made any comments since?
No, they put another picture, I think on Sunday,
Of another guy
of the same guy, then Osimhen and then what is
at the back.
Osimhen and one person at the back.
I don't know about Isaac, but me,
Wow.
I feel like that guy was instrumental. Now you may not watch football, but that guy joined that team this year and they won the league. Osimhen has been there.
Sierra has not posted that coach. It's only that guy, Vara, whatever his name.
Oh yeah. Okay, so yes, give you a shout out to Osimhen. He's our guy. We love him. Although you know that some of us still feel like, why is it that Nigerian guys? Do you see the goal that Chukwueze or something scored against Madrid? Like, why don't our guys play well when they come?
Management.
Isaac, me, I'm going to say Warriors, but 3-1 down. I'm really, really sad, man. I don't know how I'm going to, but yeah, that's right now. Sports for me, I'm not really having the Knicks are 3-1 down. You know, all my teams are just really losing, man.
Just wait till next season.
What else? So we were talking about Sudan the last time. Let me tell you one fun fact though, and Victoria can fact check. So I saw this. I think I mentioned on a couple of episodes ago about how Canada has the second largest landmass in the world, and I saw this stat where it listed like the top, I think, 20 countries. Guess who is number 3?
Sudan.
Yeah, Sudan has the third largest landmass in Africa.
Wow.
Number 1 was I'm forgetting DR Congo and I can't remember the name of the other country now. I'll remember. I'm sure it will come to me. It's a popular country. Is it Algeria? I think. Those are the top 3 landmass in Africa. But I mean, we're not even like the top. Yes, exactly. Then Libya. So the top is Russia, Canada. I think US is 3 or 4. Yeah. So we were talking about how they're also the third largest producer or fourth largest producer of gold or something, right? I said that.
Sudan.
So yes, Sudan.
Oh.
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, you're here to learn, right? You already do a lot of learning in the office and whatnot, but today is another good day for you to learn. So, but I felt so bad. So not only are they so blessed with natural resources, they're also blessed with land. But their people are suffering. I'm like.
So I was reading.
I don't even know how this episode is going to be. Because I'm so sad.
I was working on a research proposal for one of this thing, and the person's topic is on leadership and what's this thing, dictatorial leadership in Africa, and it's really what has affected us as a nation, because even in the democracy, there's still dictatorship. Yeah,
it's funny that you said that though, because there are 3 of us on this set. 2 of us in the office are managers, and one of us feels like one of us should be more of a dictator in the office.
Do you have something to say about that?
It's funny, right? So women will see a guy that is trying to be nice and cool. They will be demanding. They'll be demanding hard.
So you think he should be a dictator?
No, she thinks I should be much more. What's the word?
Hard. But you are not hard on us now. You should lead by example.
I actually disagree with that. She's not hard with you. You know her soft side. Ask Blessing and Yomi.
Yeah, but like I see when like she's speaking with them, like, and it's for me it's still like she says, "Oh, you guys should." You understand?
She's trying to be mommy.
Exactly.
You know how mommies will slap you, give you a bara, but they'll still want to cook for you.
Exactly. So.
Victoria, do you think I'm too soft?
Actually,
Right.
to make your
Good. I'm in trouble.
I admire the relationship and how we relate. Even Miss Tosin also, how she relates.
Well, they are demanding that
It's not until you are hard or authoritative.
Yeah, like you get results. Yeah. Shout out to my ex.
But
my ex employer.
Isaac. Yeah. But I don't know. It's a very unique, it's a very delicate balance, and this is why feedback is great, because to some people, like Victoria just said, it may be good, but to other people, if they don't understand what you're thinking about, they'll just think like you are killing their vibe. But yeah. So Miss Toyin thinks that I should be a bit more.
No, I think I mean, since I joined leadership has been firm. I don't have any problem with it. Why is Mr. C blushing?
I actually, for me, I just feel there should be a balance. You can't just be one-sided, and if care is not taken, it's actually going to affect the job.
So I don't think
So there should be a mixture of it. Yeah, that's what
But
I
I mean, in
feel.
Africa, we don't do any. Africa is
yeah,
dictatorship.
it's always
Africa is dog eat dog. It's just how can I steal? How can I, regardless? And the dictatorship is just like the after effect of wanting to get something.
yeah.
Like these guys that are fighting for leadership, they are first fighting for dollars, millions of dollars, right? So
Both parties in Sudan.
yeah,
That's what they're after the money. It's not as if that's why that's one of the reasons why I supported, sorry to bring us back again, Peter Obi in the last election, because
yeah.
he was really the only one that looked like he
I saw a
cared.
picture about a guy sleeping in court yesterday, and man, I'm like, the guy does so much work. What's the big deal if
He's
they're
always
sleeping in court?
traveling.
It's not even just that. So the problem is clickbait, right? So that proceeding yesterday had 3 parties. His party was the last party. He didn't have to be awake for all the whole thing. Even if it's true, but like, this is a clickbait era. Like, yeah, somebody don't quickly don't snap a picture
Agenda
of
was
about
agenda.
this doze off.
Oh my god!
Agenda was agenda.
Even myself, they doze off sometimes for certain.
Agenda was agenda.
What
But
else?
yeah, speaking about
I-
Nigerian politics, let's move to our senator who is now in,
Former senator, please.
in the Kings.
Representing Nigeria and Africa in the
Ooh.
typical fashion.
But yeah,
Do you feel bad for him?
from
Don't anything.
I don't
See. Let me tell you guys something. You know, the joke aside, I read yesterday that part of the proceedings, they found out that he has 3 houses in London or something, about $4.2 million or pounds or something. And the court said by the salary of what a politician earns in the Senate in Nigeria, he shouldn't be able to afford that. If you feel bad for people, particularly maybe in this case the girl who was sick, but 2 things stand out for me. And I didn't watch the BBC interview because I didn't want to be irritated. She's not a child.
She's a woman.
She's a woman. She's an adult. And if you feel bad for leaders who steal your money when people are dying, is it not from Enugu or something? What police called?
Yeah.
What, I can't remember the states. Because I remember that in my SPPG, and I go to plug SPPG as regular as possible, right? But in my class where Franco Weke Jr. came to teach us, you know, when he was going around campaigning, he shared some of the terrible things that people are going through. Some families depend on, so get this, Isaac, right? Somebody needs his daughter to go out at night for the whole family to eat in this Nigeria. And that is probably what is the word now? That is the norm. Because think about it. If you and I were in a different space where you had a boss who liked you, and that's what you needed to do to get your family to eat, whereas somebody else who's supposed to be a lawmaker, people who are supposed to uphold the law, they would embezzle money, they would pad budgets, they would go out and buy houses out of the country, they would go out for medical tourism, they would give their companies the money from the budget, and they would inflate the prices. You want me to feel bad?
What even struck me most about the whole proceeding was when they said he had 40 houses globally, like 40 houses across the world.
And you know,
what is he doing with 40 houses?
You know your country, you don't have shame. His colleagues are saying the UK government should be lenient.
Mr. Diko, they were still paying him salary. They said since he was in prison to now, he has been paid salaries of up to £370,000.
They'll pay his salary now.
They still pay him salary.
So our government is basically like we've absorbed him. It's almost like our government is not even working.
Well, I feel bad, but not the way you think I feel bad.
I'm curious to hear.
Yeah.
So I watched the interview, like a part of the interview, and then I went to the comments section, and someone commented and said, well, he got, like, what he got deserved what he got, but he said, I don't know what I would do with myself in that position.
Okay, so okay, go ahead, Isaac, because Victoria, this is not a podcast where it's a lifestyle podcast, so. But you know, have you ever heard people talk about you get what you deserve?
See, if
Do you understand what that is? Like, we may not be even be alive, and I don't really want to be a political segment, but we may not be alive to see some of these politicians suffer for what they do to us. But Victoria, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Think of the billions of dollars that politicians have stolen in Nigeria for the last 24 to 50 years. Even let's go way back to the military. And think of how many hospitals that will be built with these. I'm talking hundreds of billions of dollars. Think of the hospitals that will be built in all 37 states. Think of the schools and the universities that will be built. And now this guy has been in the Senate for 24 years or something, right?
Yeah.
And you were the deputy Senate president. So you've been in that Senate, you're respected. You did nothing for your people. So it's not that as a human being, I don't have the heart because I have a child to feel. But then that one child does not remove from my eye. And that's why I'm in the SPPG. The hundreds of thousands that have died because our politicians have done the wrong thing. So Victoria, I'm sorry, miss me with that.
Yeah, I can't.
Miss me with that comment. And this is also the reason why I don't look at comment, because people want to make you feel emotional and all that.
It's crazy.
Miss me with that. Victoria, if you go and check the start of people that are dying, you will even feel you.
Yeah,
we're even feeling bad for. We're feeling bad, right? But like.
Okay, I think there are levels to this feeling bad stuff. Based on the explanation, I actually thought about people that are not even exposed to. They don't have the should I say financial capability, and they are in this position also. Like kidney failure and and no hospital.
Nobody wishes anybody bad. Let's go to our guest today has not said anything. Let's go and talk about what we're going to talk about.
But I'll answer the question. Sorry. So I believe you have an idea on medical tourism. So why didn't they
explore the right channel?
Yeah.
Because typically so if you want to go give birth now, that medical tourism is easy, and you can reach out to my Japa Limited if you need help in some of these little things, right? But when it comes to things like kidney transplant or heart transplant, there's usually a registry and a process that you go through, and more often than not, there are so many people deserving who need those things as well. So the legitimate ways of getting it. When I was in university, one of the things that was trending was that people used to travel to countries like Malaysia to go sell their one part of their kidney or something for 80 million. Yeah. So there are people who feel like they have the money to be able to buy it, and people who need the money that feel like, oh, I don't mind selling this thing. So what you see in the movies is not far-fetched, right? I think Netflix has a movie called Queen of South. I watched a couple of episodes, and they used to do that, Mexicans and all those things in the movie. So yeah, so nobody wants to wait. Nobody wants to wait. It takes. It may take a couple of months. You may be lucky, or you may be unlucky.
I've heard
and
about it,
those registries have strict rules. So if it's kidney or liver or something, you can't take alcohol. All those things really matter.
And I think I don't know. I'm not in medical line, but I think there has to be a match. You can't just use
Yes, there has to be a match, because they also test your bodies to realize that will your body reject this type of So yeah. Oh, that one won't happen. Any other news, I bet, because everything is just bad news. I don't want to be feeling like it's sad for the babe. Your parents are in prison. It's sad that she has to go through those things, but we're not children.
For this guy's interview,
BBC.
Yeah. So that BBC.
I think that was a very
Isaac. Let me not drag. Let's leave BBC today. But let me put it in the most simple way. BBC they do well regularly in Africa. Let's just like most media outlets, they are very opportunistic.
They were the only ones that interviewed this guy before election.
Let's not talk about it. As I said, they regularly drop the ball. All right, so what are we talking about today? Because we have one of our managers in the admission and visa department of Ilewe Education. So today that means we're talking school today, right?
Yeah.
What's that? So what are we talking about?
So today we're talking on choosing the right study location. Yeah. So because some people just wake up one Monday, they want to Japa, and their mind is just limited to, okay, I want to go to the UK, I want to go to Canada. But I mean, there are other places you can look into.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
This
miss-
topic, Isaac, are you sure it's not because of you picked this topic? Because I remember in the last episode, but if I don't talk, my body could scratch me.
Oh my
Because I remember in the
God.
last
no,
episode,
but if
you
I-
were hinting.
sorry.
You were hinting.
No. If I want to, is it not? You are not here on 101 now. I don't need to do.
You feel no get the mind.
I'm still saying my guy now. I'm still saying my guy. So I can
Alright.
just take some.
Okay, so
But yeah, I'm still saying. First question. Now I thought that it would be more of a conversation because if you just ask so you answer it. This one
I think we should start by asking about what I experienced so that she at least let's warm her up. Last call. What has your experience been as an education counselor? What do you enjoy? And it's funny because it's almost like you're being appraised on the podcast, but
choose your answer.
choose your answer. No, I mean you want to impress. Right? But what has that experience been like for you?
I think for me, what I've enjoyed, I think in the past years, when dealing
feel
with
free to make my head
students,
swell.
is it has given me the opportunity to actually see how people plan towards their interest to study abroad. And truth be told, if I should raise that, I think we have, let's say 75% of students are actually not ready. Like they didn't really plan well towards the study abroad part.
Do you have data for this? Because on our podcast we say in God we trust, everybody bring your data. So this is not a podcast where you just say 3 out of 4.
No. So what I'm saying is based on people.
Are you just guesstimating?
No, based on people I have conversed with.
So you're saying that out of 100 people that you converse with, 75 are not
like they are not
ready.
okay. So when I mean they are not prepared, is they're actually looking towards, I really want to Japa, but I do not have the means to. So most people tend to just call, make inquiries just to prepare ahead. And we still see some people that will just come and say, whichever way, I shall won't go, I won't go.
Everybody don't type on
Then
that,
we
yeah.
have the 25%, like the other 25% are the people that are really ready. And, when you give them the direction and the guidelines to how to go about it, they just click and and funny enough, we've had success stories about people like that. So for me, my own challenge is for people who don't really have this money, most of them really do not take their time to make their research. And even if they come to us to, get the news, it's just more of, let me just get it on the surface. This one too go help me, hold body. But they really do not have the money. We've seen a couple of people that will just come, oh, do you guys help with POF? Like they just want it the mago way, you get. And we don't do that. So most people that really do not have this money are actually entitled to, I want to do it the mago way. My own is, I want Japa.
So what's Mago? Because we have foreign listeners.
Oh, okay. So people who
village
actually
podcast,
are not
please.
like, they don't want to go through the legal means of
legitimate
legitimate
Okay.
means as regards going for the study
But
abroad thing.
this people that come like with the 75%, is there a number of them that they know that this is the country I want to go to? They're just like, oh, Ile, we choose for me.
So they know where they want to go to, but I don't think they know what it entails. And I always say that our business is a lifestyle business. It tells a lot of how people make their decisions. A lot of people just like to do hearsay. Oh, I heard that Tony did it this way and Isaac did it this way, so it must be this, and that's really what I've seen. And to piggyback what she said, I also know a lot of people who you give information, who use your information to go and will be texting you from there, and be referring people. And that one is largely because maybe they don't want to pay your service fee, right? So
for me, I mean, Japa for me has been like a conversation since like I left uni. So, Miss Tosin, just give us.
Okay, so let me bring it down to, I think in the past weeks now, I've been seeing some stories on Instablog where we see majority of students that some people will go with their family, some will go alone, and they keep telling us the challenges they're facing over there. I think it's went viral. Was it? I don't know. I can't remember the week now. Maybe last week or last 2 weeks, where people were complaining about UK. Some of them were like, "Oh, I never knew it will be this tedious and all. Things are quite expensive, taxes to pay, and all of that." So most of them are. It's more like they are. What's the word?
they were oblivious.
Yes.
Stop using fake agents because the simple plug there is that if you use an agent that gave you complete guidance, you would know all these things.
Yeah.
I saw one guy on Twitter, a UK guy, who said a mother of two is she doesn't know what to do. She's struggling to pay her school fees. School is disturbing
I
her,
saw that tweet.
and she's not able to do this. And his advice is she should send children back and sort. It's too. Whereas if you come to Ilewe education, I will tell you this is what your living expense is. This is what your tuition is. This is how to get this done. Once you have that, you have an idea of what is necessary. But again, and I even feel like Tosin saying 75% of her. Don't worry, we've been saying Tosi Tony. She bears good name. She's the one confusing us. But like the 75% is even too is too small. I think it's 90% because only 10% of the people, and those are the 10% that we want to work with. The conversion for us is those people are either looking to make it to these countries, but more importantly, they are also maybe they are very eager to listen to you. Because a lot of students come, my friend in Albata, my friend in Manitoba. There's one that agents have used to scam people. University of Manitoba, what do you call that? Diploma 1 or something like that. They would have got, I don't know how many students that I have that have come to me who have gotten denied visa with that thing. And I know a couple may have gone through. But the agent helps package you, tells lies on your application. You get denied, you may get banned. So these days, the embassy will now come back. If you are lucky, if they don't deny you, they'll be talking about procedural fairness, asking you to explain stuff. So that's really where the problem is. Hearsay is not something that people should really. It's not a good thing. I heard my friend there said. Friend that did not tell you the full gist of what he even went through. He does give you or some small part of it.
So funny story. That hearsay is what basically shaped my life while I was in Covenant, because my mother heard that this is how much a friend of ours gives her child monthly as allowance, and this guy was there like what
couple of years
ago, and she was giving me the same amount, and reach. You understand? Half before like end of month, half the month, I'm already going back. But brother, this person that was there, so that, and it's basically the same.
Hearsay and culture, they go hand in hand, man.
And Nigerians don't like to do their own research.
Yeah,
we're lazy.
Yeah, about culture is you reminded me. I still saw it when I was on the work assignment this morning. Okay, let me ask the question: what does culture have to do with applying for a study visa? Because I saw it in a list. I saw it online that before you want to apply for a study visa, a work visa,
I get.
You have to be familiar with the culture, and it will help you build a strong profile.
Yeah. So culture is a very strong. Not just the word, but what it connotes. There is a way Nigerians take CVs, and when we're recruiting, as much as the CV is important to me, I'm not so interested in the CV, right? Other organizations may be more interested in that CV is what to sort of shortlist you, right?
Yeah.
So when you're going to a country, there are certain things that are norms for them, and those norms are what you call culture, right? And so it's important for you to know that if I'm going to Portugal, this is what is obtainable there. If I'm going to the UK, this is how they talk to people. It does not even mean they are disrespectful. That's just who they are.
Who they are. Yeah.
If you go to Canada, this is how they treat people, right? If you go to the US, right from the border, this is how they perceive Nigerians, and this is how you have to adapt to their culture. There are some cultures like we Yoruba would say that it doesn't be about wow. There are some cultures where they don't have filter. And so when it has to do with work, school and stuff, so I had a student who went to the UK and told me that the person struggled to, write properly. Students are struggling to understand that the writing that I'm used to here, when I present that writing to my professor, they're not passing me. I'm not getting good grades because it's an entirely different ball game. The words and how it's used and all that. So yeah, that's really what that is.
So I know someone who scored in the US, and they actually had to leave the city to move to a further place from their school because of the, am I allowed to say this on the podcast, the LGBT culture in that,
Yeah,
in that,
exactly.
yeah, in
That's
that
another
area,
very
yeah,
interesting.
and that was
Yeah.
something that they couldn't.
Because it's culture shock. That's where
Yeah.
culture shock is, because where you are coming from, it's strange.
Yeah,
Your government would put you in prison and deal with you for that kind of thing. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to, this is part of the conversation, but okay, so Tosin, how much or what do people usually need to know? We actually asked Tosin the question about her experience. I don't know if she really answered or finished that question, but if you want to tie that question to what really are the right steps to take, what do people really need to know? What have you learned? What do people need to know when it comes to this decision to study abroad and where they want to go?
Okay, I think first thing first is, aside coming to, talk to an agent about your plan, there is also a part you need to play, which is to make your own research. What country are you actually looking at? Of course, we know that the big four countries that people are looking at:
Canada,
Canada,
UK,
US,
Australia.
Australia, UK. Those are the major countries people are looking at. But aside that, we've also seen some students who also come to us to. I'm actually looking at the European countries, saying that
Germany,
it is
Belgium,
quite
it's
cheap and
cheaper.
all. So the first thing first is you make your own personal research, and even if some things are not clear to you, so you can now come use an agent. And
Yeah.
for us,
And
we
book a consultation.
exactly, that's what I'm about saying.
Me,
You
I
book
you know
a
me now.
consultation session with
Don't just
us,
call me and be saying
so that we
I
can
ask you a
take
question. I want to make inquiry.
yes, so that we can take our time to explain in details how the steps to take, what to do. So I think I'll do it for free here. Let me just give you some first steps.
Why you feel say that?
Okay. So let me just, like, it's just a summary. So first and foremost, just like I said, make your research. Which country are you looking at? Take your time to go through, learn about the country. Just like one part of what we said, the culture. Is this something you can deal with if
can you adjust to it?
if eventually
Are there Nigerians there?
exactly, so that you won't feel lonely, you won't miss Nigeria too much and all of that.
But I think there's something key that you're not saying,
Okay.
that I always say to you guys is eligibility. Are you eligible to go to school,
there.
and where? Do you have the financial means? Does the school have the course you're interested in? Do you have the result? Because that's really part of what, so she's mentioned research. We call this assessment, and then of course profiling. So yeah,
Yeah, that's basically it. You said it, so that's the summary of it. But
Sorry,
of course, there is
that's
more
how
to
is when
it.
you're an expert,
So you book a consultation with us just so we can give you more details about how that goes.
But for you, like off the top, do you like, if I come to you for a consultation now and you know me already, do you already have like a country that you think would fit
Yeah.
my person?
Yeah, sure. Based on of course the eligibility and experience. Of course, if you have the finance as well to help you through school, then I can best what's the word? Give you a particular country that best suits what you have told me.
And that's also why, and one of the reasons also you have that consultation is so that we don't waste your time and our time, because a lot of people to come and they're looking for instance, free tuition schools or things like that, and that may not be available based on your results, based on where you are, or maybe even the time period that you come make an inquiry. So all those things are very, very important. And people don't understand that it ties together. So Nigerians were not usually very detailed. There was a guy that was trained. I will even talk about this 400k. So was this guy that there's this guy that Japa who now shared his Excel sheet
The breakdown.
of the breakdown of how he was spending his salary. And the reality is, she's shaking her head because I'm always teasing everybody in the office. But her particular, I talk about the need to sort of just always break down to really see. This guy had percentages and whatnot of how much the salary. The guy really sabi Excel, you know. But that's really what it. That's what life is. It requires planning, like our madam here said. So
Yeah, so you talked on finances and how you can match. Yeah. So what if the country that best fits like my profile, I can't afford it? Where do we go from there? You now tell me, okay, just stay in Nigeria.
You have to prepare now. What else? Okay, so and yes, because I'm not sure. I don't know if there is any other thing to do to that. If you don't have the finance, and of course, that's if you are self-sponsoring and you feel, oh, you actually do not have that money.
and you can't get a scholarship.
Hmm.
So like that will be the second thing.
That would
Go
be
on.
second option.
I'm
There.
helping you. Just go ahead.
Yeah, and aside that, um, at least we've seen students who have come to us using a sponsor. Either their
Some even
parents.
get these loans.
Yeah,
Empower.
student loan. Yeah,
Yeah.
so those are the other means.
Yeah,
can
but the
take for
question that he was
finance.
asking you was basically, what do you then do? And so usually, except the student is already adamant of where he wants to go, part of a consultation is to also guide you to the options that we think fit your what you have, and that is finance, academics, and then possible interest. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm bailing out.
Mr. Singh, you
What's going on?
I'm bailing out. She's
So
I
that's
don't-
it.
I don't know why she's flustered. She's beside Starboy.
no, but I
I
mean,
don't
she's
understand.
she's really spoken about that. I think
Are there
that
countries though that that the visa process sort of scare people? Are they key factors? Is that a key factor? How many students do you think reach out to you and say, "Oh, I don't want to go to Canada because there's
Yeah.
plenty rejection"?
Yeah, so
On that
that's
note, if
you've already mentioned
you've been badly behaved recently.
it.
Between the strike, visiting visa being 600 and something days and now 700 and something days,
Jesus.
and this your new section that you're bringing up, you've been very, very badly behaved. But we'll see in corner. We'll see. I'll see in camera.
So I
Yeah.
think so one of the countries that people are kind of afraid of that, oh, I guess, are you sure I will not be denied visa? Number one, that is still Canada. Then
Doesn't apply to us, bro.
yeah,
Even with their bad behavior, it doesn't apply to us. Any of the big four countries say that you want to go. You see, let me, sorry to just really cut you and interject. You know where the trailer, where I realized where the trailer used to jam is Ilewe sabi the work. Ilewe only one work with legitimate person. If the two know,
meets clash go dey now.
you see everything they call this thing. If you know intersect,
Yeah, if you know
like
intersect,
interlocking zone,
you know go work.
it was not for you, dear.
Yeah.
Sorry, just wanted to chip that in.
so I think the more he interjects, the more I lose my words.
Sorry. So
So
okay, yeah. So Canada. Sorry, you were saying Canada.
Yes,
I know,
Canada-
yeah, we
Canada
it's
is
not.
the
How do
number
you
one.
understand King of Jackpot podcast and you not be using your words? So yeah, go ahead with that.
So aside Canada, I think another country is UK. Most people actually get denied due
Are you
to
serious?
yes. So the main reason why that would be is because it's still
US, you
based on
mean?
US. I meant to say
Oh,
sorry,
okay,
US, not
okay.
UK. USA is based on state preparation and of course documentation, eligibility, and
And Trump.
yes.
Let's just summarize it and say and Trump.
Okay,
I
so
mean, why
that's just
you
it.
blaming Trump?
So even the medical tourism we're talking about much earlier, he's really he's changed everything, right? He's changed the system. He didn't allow those people run into US to go and give birth.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
Certain countries were effectively banned from coming in, except they had a scholarship. So it's been very difficult. Again, that doesn't apply to legal education.
Curious question. Quickly. We spoke about consultation earlier, and I'm sure our viewers also will be curious about this.
Mhm.
What exactly is in that
What does it entail?
scope
The
of
school.
consultation?
So again, I think the first thing that I would say would be, are you looking to work with someone who knows what he's about? I mean, you leave education. Do you want to work with a company that knows their onions? That's really the first step, because a lot of times people don't really care about that. People would say they want to get success, but they don't really care about working with these kind of agencies, because how do I put this? It's one thing to go eat in Mama Put. It's another thing to see how a 4-star restaurant treats. So when you get into a 4-star restaurant, you cannot sit down there. The security will ask you, "Oga, are you not buying something?"
Yeah.
And so that's really what it is. So I want to allow Tosin, because I want to allow Tosin talk more. So what does your consultation? What are you usually looking for in a consult? What does it entail?
Of course, it's majorly to know more about the students and to know more about the students' interest, and of course, basically the financial part as well. It's let me just cap it up to say it's just to evaluate the students. The consultation helps us to evaluate the students and to best
It also allows students to know you, to
yes.
know if they can trust you as well.
I think that's even the better
I know I'm
part.
preaching.
So if I want to choose, like I want to travel out to study and I want to choose, I'm having difficulties choosing a particular country. Do I need to do the consultation?
Yeah, if you don't know, so basically, so the only free work.
Is she asking us his staff or as an outsider?
I'm beginning to.
She's been asking me a question. The what I would say is that when it comes to a consult, you are best served doing that if you don't have an idea of what to do, or if you've done it in the past and you have made bad decisions and there's been ripple effects. For instance, I think we have a visa masterclass coming up on the 16th of May. One of the issues that students have had is previous denials, right? So someone like that needs a consult. And I liken it to like you're going to a hospital or you're going to see a lawyer. You have a problem. You need an expert to be able to help you to get those things done. So you're going to basically pay for the person's time. But in that period, you also want to know, is this doctor someone I can trust? And just like doctor knowing, okay, is this person a trustworthy person that would help my firm to better grow? And that's really what that entails.
Okay.
Yeah. So the questions that we'll be asking and we'll be answering would help us determine, usually in a 30-minute period, where is the best place for you to go. But Nigerians, people don't usually want to pay. More often than not, people also just want to go to, again, hearsay.
Yeah.
This is where everybody's going to, let me just go there.
And funny enough, I think I've come across a particular student who even book for a consultation, and truth be told, what the person kept saying was, I don't have this, the documentation and all. I don't have the finances. And, more of the question the person was asking is, can you guys help me through with documentation? And what I mean by that is, like, you have to, what's the word now?
Cut corners.
Yes.
You don't use mago
So
again.
it's not that most people actually book consultation to actually
Sometimes
get
they
the
just want it
solution.
fast lane.
They just want, I just want it fast. Do you guys help with this? Do you guys help with that? And if we tell them no, we don't, they feel disappointed. But trust us. That's why, we've seen students, they've trusted us. Like, we've seen people that have actually trusted our services, and we've gotten referrals based on that. So for those who are listening to this, I think it's more like a disclaimer now that Ilewe education, like, we don't help students, cut corners. You come clean to us and we help you out.
If you want to cut corners, we're not the people for you.
Yeah.
The relationship cannot work.
So yesterday we had a client. Yesterday, that lady that came to our guys office. I don't know if you remember. But anyways, yeah. So so she was putting all her documents together. She asked him to review her personal statement and all that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then in my mind I'm like, this is good work we're doing, because other agents will just tell you, oh, send everything to us. Because I remember one of the conferences we had, the guy said he didn't know what the agent. He got a denial. He didn't know what the agent had done or anything.
I met someone on Saturday with the exact same. She's even been banned. Yeah.
Wow.
And we're trying to fix that.
And it's crazy because it's since before I joined the Leeway, that's the idea I had about agents.
Yeah.
You just send your documents.
Wait, so are you saying that you thought that we were part of?
I don't think we just everybody just invite.
Oh my god!
I didn't know. So even when I got to the
Thank
Leeway
God,
and I'm hearing, those courses are you guys finish your courses? I'm like, courses like people go to learn this thing. Like I had no idea.
I don't even get meeting with their team this month like this. They said I'm not a dictator. I'll be dictating a couple. If I you, that's you're not in the meeting. I'll be dictating some things your way as well.
We said for one meeting.
They will brief you. They will brief you. By the way, madam, most of the guests that come here, they focus on me, but you're focusing on Isaac. Are you? Is the aura? Is the
my G for
life? Is the aura too much? You're not.
I don't understand. There's no aura here.
Okay, so the right country to choose based on immigration policies, that's something that I'm sure people talk to you about, or at least is at the back of the mind of people. Right now, what's the comparison that you have? What's the number one country for
on the list is Canada. Canada is the
right now 1 to 10 is Canada
on the list.
Right now, 1 to 10 is Canada.
What's
making it that way?
Yeah,
why are people interested?
Because once you don't finish.
But I actually don't understand those things because UK too does. I thought UK has like study now.
Yeah, so postgraduate work permit is very different from immigration policies after. Postgraduate work permits have, different implications. A postgraduate work permit simply means that you have an opportunity to practice what you have learned for a period of time. Before UK took it back to 2 years, it used to be 6 months. Canada has theirs similar, but the only thing is that students can then use that pathway to get directly into Canada as permanent residents. So if you study 1 year for a college in Canada, they'll give you 1 year postgraduate work permit. If you study 2 years, they'll give you 2 to 3 years, which will be enough time for you to file your papers and get a permanent residency. If you do a master's, if it's 1 year, you may even get 2 to 3 years as well, depending on the province and what the immigration pathway is. So that's what makes it different. For the UK, it's different. For the UK, just like last guest said to us, when you go to school, you're done with school, you get a job. If the job doesn't sponsor you, you can't even stay back afterwards. You will still have to leave at the end of...
Even with the job you got.
Even with the job, something has to sponsor you to be able to stay back. And so that's what is happening with immigration policy. That's why people want to go to Canada and Australia. The reason why people don't really talk much about Australia is because it's far. It's also a bit expensive. Now, the US is good for certain people, largely STEM. Now they're calling it STEM. There's an A now, but STEM is usually the science, tech, engineering, and I think mathematics or something like that. So that's really what people are looking for. So tech people will go to the US and thrive. Healthcare people will go into the US and thrive. Anybody can go to Canada through different means. Even the immigration pilot, they just announced that the food agro pilot that they launched will last until May 2025. So that means that if you are, for instance, a pig farmer, or you're in animal production in certain of those, I think there are 5 parts of that, you can get into Canada and get permanent residency right now. If you are a welder, if the NOC for that province, if they have a need for welders and carpenters, you can get into Canada under the unskilled labor. So there are different schemes.
Pathways, like the pig farmer thing. Can you apply for PRO?
Yeah, that's what the pilot. Once there's an immigration pathway, is for you to get PR.
Wow.
Yeah, so they are. So Canada. I talked about. I talked about that. A country has the second largest landmass, and it's still sort of developing. In that it's developed, but there's still so much growth because it's so big and so vast.
What is PRO? Public relation.
No.
Permanent residency. Permanent residency. So yeah. So that's really that. So what other factors are involved in making a decision? We've talked about culture. We've talked about the area. I mean, Isaac, now, can you go to Australia? Isaac is even love his parents. Can you go that far?
No, the thing with Australia is my own just hearsay and what I've seen on Twitter when you be in your house, snake will just come inside, all those kind of things. So that's why I've never considered. But I have someone there Who says it's not
Not true.
it's not like it's not true. It's not as bad as it is on the internet.
It's not as bad, but it's a culture shock
Yeah.
when you think that as you guys are now, the government values an animal just as much as they value you. That's a culture shock.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can go to prison because you treated an animal wrong.
See this guy, what's his name? Zuma. That kicked the
And they cancelled
Zuma,
him
and they
for.
cancelled him.
In fact, I think
Oh
it's still
my
cancelled.
God.
Safe.
They wanted his club to kick him out.
Yeah.
So
We've talked about the factors. So, what else do you have for us? What other factors? Standard of living an important one. Because again, in this Nigeria, people don't. It's not everybody that has money. So sometimes people are just trying to gather the money to go. When it comes to standard of living, the most popular thing you hear is I want the lowest. I want the
Lowest
cheap,
tuition fee.
lowest, cheapest area and lowest tuition fee available.
I think that's most applicable for, from my experience or what I've heard for the UK. When I was coming to, when I saw a tweet where the person stated cities that if you don't have money, like if you're not ready, if you're struggling to gather funds to Japa, don't stay in these cities. And the person now said at the end is like, London is not this list because you need to have 3 heads to survive in London. You need 3 good heads. So I think it's very necessary that you consider all those things. You need to consider standard of living. Like it's a very big factor.
Miss Wilson, we've been talking about the right destination for international study. How can we tell the wrong country?
That's a very interesting question.
How can you tell the wrong country? So I think for me, it's basically okay. So people have been complaining about, let me say, for Germany, people have been complaining like bitterly about the racial discrimination there. So for a country like that, racial discrimination is actually, I think, is applicable to all countries, but like the highest rate of it, we can talk about US, or you can also look at Germany. So for countries like that, you would not just want to, just go, you just want to leave Nigeria for the sake of it, and you will not, put in factors like something that will give you peace of mind, that will not, shake you up and all of that. So for me, even if you're considering, leaving Nigeria to go study in other countries, the first thing to look out for is which country will you like to look out for that will actually give you the peace of mind you want. Majority of people are leaving Nigeria because it's not giving them what they want. It's killing their talents. The security is not, you can't give it 100% and all of that. People are leaving the country because of that. So you cannot want to leave fry pan and enter fire. So for me, I will consider that if me personally, for me, I will consider that before leaving Nigeria to other country, I really need to look at what will make it different from where I'm living. So first thing first, you need to consider your health, consider your mental health, where you're going, whereby of course it will give you the peace of mind you want. It will, your health is number one priority, and of course something whereby you are learning, you're going there to learn. And of course, you also consider the health, like the culture thing also. Something that will not just, that will not make you have that feeling of, oh, I'm still having the feeling of Niger. You get? So that's it for me.
So you talked about health, and there's something that's health and mental health. There's something that our last guest spoke on. I can't remember what she called it. Was it seasonal depression?
Seasonal disorder.
Yeah, something like that. And like it's actually, I never knew about it. And imagine me going to the UK not knowing that, because the weather is like this, I am feeling this way. And I had no idea. I wouldn't know how to manage it. So it's actually very necessary that you make your findings on things like this. Then the issue about racism too, for me, I don't think it's something I'll be able to manage. I'm a very emotional person.
Softy.
I'm a very emotional
small
person.
traits. You're no more the host. You're co-host.
No, that one is very important.
But you see, the thing that I have seen over the years is, I think it is overblown to say that people leave Nigeria and wherever they are going is much better. So let me give you an example. You leave Nigeria to go to the US. The US has similar problems with politics. The only difference is that they just seem a bit more sane about it. The US has gun violence,
Crazy
and they
one.
haven't been able to fix it for decades.
Yeah.
Canada has one headache or the other. Racism too is a thing in Canada. There's a difference in culture, what you are used to, what makes you happy. Because again, just like our last guest said, you won't know when you're happy until you say Nigeria is bad. When you get there, then you are trying to figure stuff out. Then the government is taking 60% or 70% of your earnings as tax. So it's very easy for us to just like judge and talk about these things, but it requires proper planning. Because the racism that we're talking about there, are we not racist here? I think I've told you guys before now.
I mean, we have our own.
Like, what do you mean we have our own? We're terrible.
We're terrible.
We're terrible. And so there's so much going on right now. There's inflation going on. There's bad government everywhere. Everybody has one thing or the other they are looking for. And I always talk about studying abroad is like Planned Parenthood. You don't just plan to be a parent by how babies are made. You have to be able to plan to say, okay, this child is going to need to eat. Somebody has to be responsible for this child's well-being. Or is somebody going to work? If we're both working, what's going to happen afterwards? Like, you have to plan, because there's now an added responsibility. So it's not just for us to just appear and say we're tired of Nigeria, we want to Japa. You also always have to have a plan. And so on the negative side of things, there's also the positive. Germany has a lot of racism, yes, and this is decades, right? But it also has a lot of clean areas. Germany has a lot of money in research and funding. The EU does a lot of free tuition, free this, free that, so it's very, very easy for us to see the bad in things, but it also has the good.
Exactly.
But like Tosin said, what I would say is there has to be an energy. What do I vibe most in?
Yeah.
Because trust me, I love Europe for some funny reason. I don't vibe. I'd rather be in me as I am. I will say it. I'd rather be in Germany now or Spain or something. Like, I love. It's the kind of place that I feel like. I mean, because of sports, but it's a place that I think that I would like, and I have friends everywhere. I don't think I would like some of these popular places that people want to go. No, I didn't say that. Though. So So thank you, Tosi, for showing up. We're supposed to talk about the IRCC briefly, and they are, like I said, they are bad behavior right now. So they went on strike. Yeah. I need to end with this because it's so funny in this part of the world. Between our last recording and now, a government goes on strike, and before you come to record, they don't settle. They can't even be like us.
Shout out to us.
They can't even be like us. I was looking forward to talking about it. They no fee give us any. They don't quickly,
Shout out to us.
But I think we've been able to help people. You're looking to study abroad. www.ileve.com. Fill an application form. If you are not clear and you want the best help, book a consult. But if you know where you want to go and you just need our help, you just need our expertise, fill the form, reach out to us, send your documents. We help with everything apart from forging documents and helping you gather money that is not there. Even scholarships, research, we would guide you through. Thank you to our friend and our colleague, Miss Onawale, for
thank you for having me.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't like I don't like it was not giving like Okpe was saying. She wasn't.
Yes, me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm not liking this. I feel left out. Yes. Thank you to our listeners. Watch, subscribe, share. Episode drops every Friday until I get tired or until I travel.
Bye guys.
Bye guys.